What's up, guys? It's IMDPTV back at it again. I got a copyright claim, but I'm not in trouble, and I'm glad that YouTube understands that I have no intention of stealing content. I really do not mean to steal content, but they took down some videos, which, hey, I'm fine with. I don't want to be in trouble, and as long as they understand that I'm not out to steal people's shit, I'm cool. But anyway, like I said, this is this channel is named after the Plague Doctor, so I figured that we would play a demo of a game that's literally about a secret order of people who are plague doctors who are trying to figure out how this epidemic started. But let's just get into it, see what it's all about. It's a demo. It's called the Sanators Chronicles. It's obviously Russian, but it looks interesting. I was watching the trailer for it, and obviously we'll do it in English so everyone can understand. Sanators Chronicles of Rootstad is a small prelude to Scarlet Scarf that introduces its main characters and reveals what had been happening in the city a few days before the epidemic. While being a prequel, the story is completely linear. Settle in and prepare to face the unknown. The world of Domus et Anima awaits. "6 days left until the epidemic. We brothers of St. Elmo don't have drinks in the morning." Richard talks through his teeth and frowns, all to try and seem more strict, but it seems he's just another lodger for old Magda. Not one of the brothers, not a senator, not a hangman, and of course not a savior. More of a grandkid to be wined, dined, and well cared for to prevent him from losing weight. It's hard for Richard to acknowledge, but after the fear and hatred, after the futile, heart-wrenching hope, and the following bitter disappointment, after everything he had seen in the eyes of the commoners during the years of servitude, he likes Magda's attitude. That's why the brother does not want to quarrel with the old lady. He knows he'll hurt them both if he snaps and really shows her place in the strict Sanitarian hierarchy. But Magda continues to fuss over him. "How come, my dear? It's customary here in Rootstad. From time immemorial it is so. Beer in the morning won't get ye drunk, only help your stomach wake up. Even my grandpa taught so." Trying to distract himself from this embarrassment, Richard imagines the drunkard who once lived in this house. Must have been a good old man. Richard never had relatives. He had the surname Murdoch, but no family, only the brotherhood. "With Tenetaria as your mother and Elmo as your father, all good people from the frozen taiga to the shining milky mountains will call you brother." The high-flown words of the testament echo in his mind. "No ale, no wine, no sleeper forbid moonshine. Brew me the herbs, Magda." The old lady looks at him sympathetically and nods her gray head with concern. "Got stiff bowels, darling? You can say it straight. There's no need to be shy. I'll cure you in no time." "Not that brew. Another one. The one for the hangover." While the old lady tries to digest this contradictory demand, Richard notices his shadow slowly coming to life. It ripples, then detaches from the wall the pale northern sunlight had pressed against. "Shoo," Richard hisses, but the shadow has already awakened. It distorts and changes into the most grotesque forms, threatening to swallow the unsuspecting Magda or cut her apart with sharp bird-like claws. "Hey, get out." "Why do you talk to old Magda that way, grandkid? Hangover brew, so be it." Richard feels awkward and lies in response. "It was a cat sitting on the window." Magda turns around at last. A tranquil light of the last warm days of autumn falls through the dim, dusty window. It plays with the floating specks of dust gleaming off the jars of glass and copper. and only Richard and Magda stand in its way, casting two straight, still shadows on the plastered wall. 5 days left until the epidemic. Richard steps silently under the countless arches of his dream passages. The ringing of bells attracts him, drives him into the dust-coated chambers. Their owner, Anga, stays frozen, turned aside, pretending that Sanators coming means nothing to her. But Richard knows it is not so. His attention darts to her new creation, a huge monstrous birdcage with the gates bent outward like the ribs of an autopsied cadaver. The Senator is used to the Shadow's grotesque creations, the most vivid combinations of forms and images. Hadn't he seen them for years already? Today, however, Anga manages to impress him. What is it? Anga sighs and throws a brief glance at her guest. No greeting? No thanks from you? As usual. Despite the unfriendly words, the tone of her voice tells Richard she's pleased with the question. I like it, but something is missing. The Senator isn't generous with his compliments, expecting a catch. Anga, as if expecting such a review, flashes a ragged smile and turns into smoke almost immediately. A trembling gust of it slides from the eerie chair flowing to the cage. A moment later, a bizarre black bird treads the bone perch. Caw! She screams as she unfurls her mighty wings, slaps them against the bars, and bangs her beak on the metal. Ah, now I see. Well, I should have guessed. Will you sit in this cage now? Hoo, hoo, the bird answers and swells with clusters of open eyes. Richard sighs wearily, not impressed by the smoldering stare of a dozen pupils. Why do you keep asking for it again and again, Anga? Don't you know the commandments? The shadow bends lazily, sliding out of the cage in a stream of smoke, flowing through the bars like a mist, and adopting her human form again. I know they were never inviolable, Richard. I know all brothers violate them. You teach us, pamper us, let us out into the world. Richard raises his finger as if his words were a quote from the St. Elmo Codex. I am not the one accountable for my brothers. Am I to be their watchman? Stop talking to me that way. I'm not your toy. Richard frowns, lips pursing in a thin line, wrinkles crackling around his forehead betwixt his brows. He throws his hands up, showing that her accusations have nothing to do with him. You should not look through my eyes now, Anga. This isn't about the commandments. This is about what you feel, what you desire. The shadow turns around, avoiding looking him in the eye, and the Senator knows how angry she is. He must not leave her in such a state. You should not hold on to your anger. Poison yourself. Obsess over impossible dreams. Trust me, I care about you. Without letting him finish, she turns around and hurls herself at him like a black cat, scratching and striking. You idiot, she roars. To the sea with your caring. Let the Tenbrays feast on your commandments. I only wish to live. Richard waits without defending himself, and the strikes weaken, as if Anga was beating herself and not him. He is still calm and strict, showing none of his feelings on the surface. I'll do anything to keep you alive, he says. Even if you don't believe me or don't have the patience, all to keep you from knowing the sea. I promise. She slumps against his chest, clutching his shoulders with sharp fingers. Is there really no way? Her eyes silently ask. Richard only shakes his head. It is not the time. I have no influence, no ink, no power. Vigilant eyes watch us all. He holds Anga and looks into her eyes. The seal pulsates between them. Trust me. Together we will make it to the end, and we will be able to bypass it. Anga swells in his arms and rises triumphantly, her eyes shining nearly throw sparks. Your promise was honest. I felt it. I heard it. You were not lying. Could I? Richard smiles, hiding a bitter pang. Then go ahead, act. Justify my trust. Richard awakens, bringing the precious grain of the promise with him. Oh, he did not fib. There are ways to keep his promise, and he'll find them. 4 days left until the epidemic. The soul lies in a pile of ash, and blackened fingers dig into the dirty flakes of its last shelter. Again and again it struggles to restore the images of that world. Rays of sunshine and puddles, wet cobblestones and shiny roofs, a silver of sky. Only words left without the names they used to use, and that the other memory, that which they did, that which must not be remembered. A cry full of suffering and rage emerges from where the stomach once was. It struggles through the vortex of the throat, falls out of the mouth like a wingless bird, and drops down, its flight ended. The body, the memory of the body, writhes and shakes, giving birth to new cries again and again, as if getting rid of the remnants of flesh, as if repelling everything that could store this cursed memory, until only ashes, a pale glow, and a putrid fume remain. The anger, the grief, and the despair grow and multiply in this new husk. With them comes the envy of those whose world has not yet crumbled into dust. And suddenly a touch of strength, color, life. One by one, palms slide into the cloud of ash and vapor that her body has become. They shield, protect, and cover her essence from the swarming thoughts and reverberating cries. The pain is still with her, but already remote, alien, as if not hers. It is as if someone powerful took it away, pushed it aside, beckoned it to him. Do you remember? The voice seems to come from within, enveloping her with warmth. The soul remembers. Faces, voices, the old house, and the other things too. I do. She wants to name the entity embracing her, and the name falls readily off her tongue. I remember Lady Melaire. I can grant you return. An outbreak of bright burning anger scorches the soul, making vapors and ashes stir violently. But Melaire's hands hold her together. Cool fingers absorb the raging flame, giving her the right to choose. What should I do? Seek the servants of the old master and destroy them. I glued your memory together. All that you've managed to carry through the houses, I grant you strength and time. What if they have escaped? Mella's laughter trembles, and so do the hands holding the soul, preventing her from crumbling and disappearing. I'll find them, Lady Melaire. Then look at me. Come on. The voice stops, waits, and then does not ask, but orders. Look. A whirlpool of color catches the soul, and countless hands drag her deeper within. A shining cacophony of thousands of images, sounds, and emotions storm into her mind, crumpling, twisting, and tossing her upward like a feather. Alright, we're going to cut it here, and then we're going to do the last 3 for the second part. Alright guys, if you like this so far, it's pretty intense, and it's very fascinating, but it's only going to get more interesting as the days get closer to the epidemic. So if you guys like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the last part of this. So, see you there.